Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is the Top Luke and this is a new MW2 video on ThunderStruckGaming. First of all, I'd like to thank Thunder for allowing me to post on his channel. It's one of those amazing opportunities that Thunder himself offers us on his community channel just to gain a little bit of exposure and some increase in our sub count. So I'm using the UMP with ACOG sight and silencer or rundown, and I'm playing MW2 ground door. And as much as this game can be fun at times, as much as it's frustrating in reality, so it's just like one of each 10 lobbies that you can have fun in ground war. But nonetheless, if you play TDM or like Team Tactical, the less competitive game modes, this game can be a lot of fun. However, that's not the topic of the commentaries of today's commentary, so let's get into it. So what I want to talk about today in this commentary, apart from this terrible aiming, is that we all know that money ruins. Most of the rich people's children are so dependent on others to carry out stuff with them because they don't have a lot of exposure and all what they care about is money. Sadly, the same scenario is happening in the YouTube world nowadays. The big is getting bigger and the smallest is getting smaller, just like the rich and the poor in today's society. Back in the day, in like 2007, 2008, YouTubers used to post for fun and only to help others get better at the game, just tips and tricks and stuff. But nowadays, most of the people only upload videos hoping to get money and exposure out of it. Even if they are small, they think that they might one day grow up to become bigger and get this YouTube money. But in fact, if they worked hard and they studied and completed their education, they might have a greater chance of achieving success. But only people, and that's the human nature, is that most of the people look to achieve things the easy way. But that's like what I said is the human nature, and that's one thing that we can't change it. However, I'm getting sidetracked here. But so in comparison to people who care about money and YouTubers who don't care, let's take a look at the smaller channels and the bigger ones. So generally, the smaller channels would spend more time making their videos, would have much more fun making their videos. They would listen to the subscriber feedback, they would treat their subs quite nicely, and they would be more passionate about what they're posting and uploading. However, on the other hand, the bigger channels will only care about number of views that they get per video, the subscriber count, and the amount of money they gained. But of course, for every rule there is an exception, and there are some big channels who post amazing content and spend a lot of time editing their videos, just like Thunder. But I'm talking here about the vast majority. Anyways, I think that smaller YouTubers deserve an opportunity to change these things, just like what Thunder is trying to do with his community channel. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have enjoyed today's topic. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.